Bolhao Market is a place where commerce, resilience, and everyday civic life all collide in one dense sensory micro-universe. It's a century-old neoclassical market that survived economic downturns, depopulation, and decades of decay before its massive restoration. Rua de Santa Catarina is a retail artery full of street performers, cafes, and the iconic Cafe Majestic just a short walk away from the historic downtown area. A signature landmark on this street is Capella das Almas, the blue tile facade that gives the district its visual signature. Estadio do Dragão is the physical embodiment of FC Porto's ethos, discipline, ambition, and the kind of blue-collar pride sharpened into elite performance. It's one of the few Porto landmarks that feel forward-leaning rather than heritage-anchored. It's a one-of-a-kind landmark to visit in Porto. In this vlog, I'll be exploring Bolhao Market, Rua de Santa Catarina, and Estádio do Dragão. Bolhao Market is essentially the story of Porto's working-class heart, a place where commerce, architecture, and social life intertwined for more than 180 years. The site became a designated shopping and trading area in 1839, marking the beginning of Bolhao as Porto's central fresh produce hub. The name Bolhao comes from the Portuguese word for bubble, referencing a fountain on the site whose water formed bubbling currents. Through the 19th century, the area grew organically into an open-air market, attracting farmers, fishmongers, and small traders. This early phase is pure mercantile emergence, Porto's everyday economy crystallizing into a physical node. The iconic neoclassical building that defines Bolhao today was completed in 1914 during the First World War. It was designed as a monumental civic structure. It includes a large central courtyard, 2 levels of stalls, robust stone and ironwork. It quickly became one of Porto's most beloved public spaces, a place where the city's rhythms, such as fish auctions, produce deliveries, and vendor calls, became part of its cultural soundtrack. Bolhao became a civic mercantile temple and working-class counterpart to Porto's more ceremonial architecture. Over decades, the building aged heavily, and by the 1990s and 2000s, deterioration was with cracked tiles, rusted metals, and leaking roofs. Yet, even in decline, the market remained a symbol of authenticity. Vendors passed stalls down through generations, and the market became a living archive of Porto's food culture. The 20th century reflects Bolhao Market's resilience phase, refusing to let its everyday heart fade, even as the structure struggled. In 2018, the city closed Bolhao Market for a deep multi-year restoration, relocating 64 original vendors to a temporary market to preserve continuity. The restoration, led by architect Nuno Valentim, aimed to modernize infrastructure while preserving the soul, the open courtyard, the stall layout, and neoclassical bones of the market. The 19th century wrought iron Mercado do Bolhão reopened its doors in the fall of 2022 after a major restoration project. The newly renovated market sells fresh produce, meats, fish, flowers, cheese, and coffee, and there are even a few restaurants where you can sit down and grab a bite to eat. The restored market is now celebrated as a municipal heritage site and a monument of public interest. Whether you're a frequent traveler to Porto or first-time visitor, the fabled Bolhão market is one place you simply cannot miss. This expansive split-level bazaar has been feeding locals and visitors for almost 200 years, and it's been a magnet for culinary enthusiasts ever since. Like many Porto markets, Bolhão centers around food, with both fresh and cooked varieties readily available at countless stalls. Those hoping to sample Portuguese produce will have their pick of those stands selling fruit, vegetables, cheese, and meats, which are interspersed with vendors plating up flavorful petiscos and regional wines. When you're not savoring the local food and drink experiences, you can shop for souvenirs, stock up on clothes, accessories, and artisanal products. The Bolhão market also serves as a hub for cultural activities and entertainment, meaning you might be fortunate enough to hear some live music. Bolhão market is packed with stalls and sit-down eateries, all which offer delectable dishes made with quality ingredients. Some popular restaurants here include Coto ao Bacalhau. The menu at this contemporary Michelin Guide restaurant is a celebration of Porto's historic cuisine, with a special focus on bacalhau. Casa das Ostras. This pared-back oyster bar is among the favorite seafood spots at the market. Casa Vegetariana proves that there is more to Portuguese cuisine than hearty meat-based dishes. Padaria Alzira do Bolhão is a modern bakery home to some of the finest pastel de nata in Porto. With so many incredible foods on offer, it can be tricky to know where to begin. Top must-try dishes include francesinha, patiscos, bacalhau, sardines, and chintos, and port wine. If you want to soak up the lively atmosphere, plan your visit for the evenings or weekends. For a more laid-back atmosphere, stop by midweek during the morning or afternoons. Some vendors only accept cash, and there are 2 ATMs located inside the market. If Bolhao Market wasn't on your must-see list before, it should be now. The bustling marketplace is the go-to spot in the city for tasty local food, fine Portuguese wine, and unmissable cultural experiences. Mercado do Bolhão, a traditional open-air market, first opened its doors in 1837 and remains an historic icon and heart of the city of Porto. The restored and stylish Beaux Art style building houses around 80 traditional stalls and family-ran businesses over 3 floors, selling a variety of fresh produce, fish, meats, and wines, alongside newer cafe shops and restaurants. Beyond food, you can also shop for unique souvenirs like perfume and jewelry. Discover the heart of Porto with a unique tour of Mercado do Bolhão, the city's most iconic and lively market. The guided experience will take you through the bustling stalls of this historic market, where you can soak in the vibrant atmosphere and explore a wide range of local products. From the vibrant market atmosphere to the delicious taste of the region, it's the perfect way to get to know the flavors of this beautiful city. Rua de Santa Catarina is Porto's main shopping street, a 1.5-kilometer long pedestrian artery that concentrates retail, cafes, tile facades, and everyday urban life. It is one of the clearest expressions of Porto's commercial resilience and street-level identity. Rua de Santa Catarina is Porto's main shopping street. It's described as the epicenter of the city, packed with shops, cafes, and malls, filled with international shopping brands such as Zara, H&M, Benetton, and Fnac, mixed with traditional stores and bakeries. It's a pedestrian-only, high-energy corridor, which is close to traffic and filled with locals and tourists moving through a dense commercial landscape. Not everything on Rua de Santa Catarina is about shopping. There are also restaurants, cafes, and a couple of very popular tile facade churches. When you pass through this street, it is mandatory to stop at the Cafe Majestic, the most beautiful and famous Art Nouveau cafe in the city. Even if you don't go inside, you can admire its facade. Be warned that the prices are high by Portuguese standard. In high season, it can get crowded and there can be a long line to get in. Cafe Majestic is one of Porto's most famous belle epoque cafes, a cultural landmark on the street. You can stop by the Capella das Almas and enjoy its beautiful tiled facade. It's another must-see activity on a walk along the street. You will find it without difficulty as its tiles stand out among the row of stores. Rua de Santa Catarina is the commercial and civic spine of Porto, the place where the city's retail energy, social life, and architectural texture converge. From early morning, you'll see lots of activity going on. There are a number of businesses located on this pedestrian street that make it the epicenter of the city. In Santa Catarina, you will find the most popular stores in Europe, such as the stores I mentioned before, although brick and mortar stores still survive. It is the favorite street for shopping in Porto. There are also a couple shopping malls, La Via and Via Catarina, completing the offer of the area. Rua de Santa Catarina is the continuous ribbon of commerce from global brands to century-old shops. Enjoy the everyday urban texture with street performers, iconic cafes, tile facades, and crowds creating a lively urban stage. As a pedestrian street, it channels movement and acts as a connective tissue between Bolhao, Batalha, and Baixa. Santa Catarina pairs naturally with Bolhao, Porto's civic mercantile resilience. Capella das Almas, also called the Chapel of Santa Catarina, is one of Porto's most visually striking religious landmarks, famous for its blue and white azuleo facades that turns Rua de Santa Catarina into an open-air gallery of sacred storytelling. The chapel began as a wooden structure dedicated to St. Catherine. The current building dates back to the late 18th century when the Brotherhood of Souls and Wounds of St. Francis moved from the monastery of Santa Clara to this site. This transfer increased the chapel's importance and attracted more worshippers, prompting expansion, thus solidifying its identity as a devoted space of worship and spiritual anchor. The chapel's exterior is almost entirely covered in blue and white azuleo installed in 1929 by artist Eduardo Liti. The tiles depict dramatic scenes such as the mortality of St. Francis of Assisi, the martyrdom of St. Catherine. Liti intentionally mimicked the 18th century classical style, creating a seamless historical illusion despite the tiles being 20th century work. Capella das Almas is the sacred facade chapter in Porto's story, the moment where devotion, art, and urban life merge into a single visual statement. It pairs beautifully with Santa Catarina and BOLHAO. Together, they form a corridor where commerce and spirituality coexist. Located directly on Rua de Santa Catarina, Porto's busiest pedestrian street, its facade acts as a visual anchor in the commercial district, a moment of sacred calm amid retail energy. A spiritual, artistic landmark embedded in the city's mercantile spine. Via Catarina is one of the most distinctive commercial spaces in Porto's Baixa district. It sits directly on Rua de Santa Catarina. It's the city's main pedestrian shopping artery and acts as a bridge between traditional street-level commerce and modern retail infrastructure. Its placement makes Via Catarina a commercial anchor between BOLHAO Market, Capella das Almas, and the upper Santa Catarina retail zone. It's a modern commercial node embedding in Porto's historic shopping spine. The mall has around 93 to 95 shops across multiple floors, around 600 parking spaces, which is unusual for the dense Baixa district. The food court is designed to stimulate traditional Porto architecture, creating a hybrid of mall convenience and heritage aesthetics. There is a retail mix of fashion, accessories, electronics, toys, home decor, sports, culture, leisure, and a supermarket. Positioned as a place where you can fill your suitcase with the finest outfits and find both traditional and new brands. Its architectural and experimental layer is described as charismatic and exceptional, planned with great detail. The food court's recreation of old town facades gives it a theatrical, immersive quality, a mall that performs the city's identity rather than replacing it. Via Catarina is the modern commercial chamber in Porto's story. It pairs naturally with Rua de Santa Catarina, BOLHAO Market, and Capella das Almas. Immerse yourself in Portuguese cuisine on this small group guided food tasting tour in Porto. Follow your guide around Porto's historic center and stop at 4 or more venues to sample a variety of local food favorites paired with drinks including pastel de nata with coffee, local cheeses and wine, a bafana pork sandwich with beer, and more. Use my link to join this food tour in Porto with Viator. Get a true taste of Porto on this private food tour with a local guide. Come hungry and visit everything from local hotspots to hidden gems for a look into the authentic side of Porto. Stop for tastings at local cuisines and hand-picked spots by local guides passionate about food. Sample port wine, pastel de nata, and more. All tastings are included with the price of your ticket. Use my link to join this food and drink tour with the local using Viator. Getting to Estádio do Dragão, FC Porto's home stadium, is quite simple. The easiest way and how most people get there is by metro lines A, B, C, E, or F from Bolhão or Trinidade station. Dragao anchors the Antas renovation corridor linking the stadium, metro station, Almada shopping center, new residential blocks, and the east side modernization wave. Estádio do Dragão is more than FC Porto's home. It's the architectural and symbolic pivot point where the club and the city stepped into the 21st century with confidence. Its history is tightly tied to Euro 2004, FC Porto's rise under Mourinho, and Porto's east side urban renovation. By the late 1990s, FC Porto's old stadium, Estádio das Antas, no longer met modern standards, and the club needed a venue that matched its growing European ambitions and Portugal's bid to host UEFA Euro 2004. The push for a new stadium aligned with FC's dominance in Portuguese football, the modernized wave tied to Euro 2004, and a desire to create a civic landmark in the Antas district. Constructed between 2001 and 2003 and designed by Miguel Salgado, a leading Portuguese architect, built just a few hundred meters from the old Antas ground. The stadium has a capacity of 50,033 seats. The construction cost around €125 million. The design emphasized modernist curves, open sight lines, a sense of coiled energy fitting the Dragon identity, and functionality for both club and international tournaments. The stadium was conceived as the flagship venue for UEFA 2004 and a symbol of FC Porto's future. The stadium officially opened on November 16, 2003 with a friendly match between FC Porto and FC Barcelona, which Porto won 2-0. This match was historically significant because it marked the first team debut of Lionel Messi for Barcelona. It showcased the stadium as a modern European venue and symbolized the transition from Antas to the Dragão. There was a record attendance that day of 52,004 spectators. During UEFA Euro 2004, Estádio do Dragão hosted the opening match, two group stage matches, the quarterfinal, and the semi-final between Greece and the Czech Republic. This cemented Dragão as one of the tournament's premier venues. During the 2019 UEFA Nations League final, Dragao hosted a semi-final, the final, and the final where Portugal beat the Netherlands 1-0. Thus, the stadium became the backdrop for Mourinho's Porto legacy, Champions League and Europa League campaigns. It evolved into a fortress both symbolically and statistically. FC Porto Museum and Stadium Tour combines 2 award-winning attractions in one ticket. The FC Porto Museum, an immersive high-tech storytelling space, and a guided stadium tour through Estádio do Dragão, including behind-the-scenes areas. This is described as an emotional and interactive learning experience that explores the club, the city, and world football history. Adult tickets for the museum and stadium tour is €25, €17 for museum only. Museum only tickets are the only option on match days, UEFA match eve days, major events, or maintenance days. The FC Porto Museum is open daily from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Tours at 11 a.m., 12 p.m., and additional times depending on the day vary slightly by season. What you will see on the stadium tour: the pitch side and technical area, the press room, VIP areas, the locker rooms when available, panoramic view of the stadium, and architectural highlights of Dragao. Visitors consistently describe the stadium portion as stunning and the museum as world-class. The museum is known for its interactive, futuristic design and deep storytelling. All major trophies, including Championship League and Europa League titles, hologram of club president Jorge Nuno Pinto da Costa, multimedia exhibits on club history, players, and the city, and immersive rooms dedicated to iconic matches and eras. It's considered one of Porto's top attractions with visitors from over 75% of the world's countries. Explore the home of FC Porto at the FC Museum and Dragao Stadium. Follow in the footsteps of famous footballing legends and see titles collected in the UEFA Championships League. Take an interactive journey through 27 thematic arenas of the FC Porto Museum. Learn about the award-winning Dragao Stadium, home of FC Porto, and explore the history of FC Porto and its relation to the city. Join this one-of-a-kind tour in Porto through GetYourGuide. Enjoy the tour of Estádio do Dragão and the FC Porto Museum. Buy your general public ticket here now and live a unique experience. Bolhao Market is one of Porto's most essential experiences, a place where the city's heritage, gastronomy, and everyday life converge in a single living civic space. It remains the main produce market of the city, a place where locals still shop daily. Additionally, you can eat like a local, from fish soups to pastries, in a setting that feels both historic and alive. Santa Catarina is Porto's main shopping district, a 2.5-kilometer long commercial artery lined with international brands and traditional shops. The street features some of Porto's most photographed facades, including Capella das Almas and Café Majestic. Via Catarina Shopping Center is integrated into the street and is a popular mall for locals to drop by. Dragao is the fortress of FC Porto, one of Portugal's most decorated clubs. Visitors describe the matchday atmosphere as electric and unforgettable. You're stepping into a stadium with Champions League pedigree and decades of football history. Be sure to visit the club museum and tour the stadium when you're there. Combine all of these attractions on a full day itinerary and you'll come away learning a lot more about the locals in Porto. In my next vlog, I'll be discussing airport transit in London and London Paddington Station.